Hello everybody, welcome back to Roll and Move Reviews. This is Kirk, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about Origins. I was in Columbus over the weekend, had an awesome time, chance to check out a lot of great games, and I'm excited to talk to you about them today. If you watched my Origins preview video last week, you'll notice that ironically a lot of the games we talked about then are not going to cross over with this list. Unfortunately, scheduling and budget restraints left me to only one day in Origins, so I didn't get to do everything I wanted to, check out all the games I wanted to check out. But that's okay. We'll get to those eventually. I'll play them. We'll talk about them. It'll be awesome. Bright side, there are a lot of great games I did get to check out, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Just FYI, one thing before we start. Unlike my preview list, these aren't all necessarily brand new games, just games that were new to me and I've got my first exposure to at the show. So let's dive right in. First couple of games I'm going to cover actually were on my list last week, and that is the DC Deck Builder Teen Titans expansion and the Arrow crossover pack, both from Cryptozoic. Like I said in my preview video, I'm always looking for something new and fresh to drag me back in the DC Deck Builder kicking and screaming. I enjoyed it when I first played it. It's kind of run its course, but it's a game I want to love. The Teen Titans expansion, it was a good expansion. It held my interest. I enjoyed playing it. The new mechanic in this game focuses on cards remaining in play, ongoing cards you control. Nothing particularly Teen Titanish about that, but it's a cool mechanic and it was fun. I like to see that. Also, I really like seeing all the characters from the Teen Titans, the villains, and the smaller, minor heroes. Teen Titans, I've always thought is very underrated corner of the DC universe, and they're kind of like the Marvel's X-Men, where they have a lot of characters that are exclusively theirs, and you don't see them wandering off to different branches of the Marvel universe too often. So it's nice to see that big chunk of population from the DCU being ported over into this game. Just like the last expansion, Forever Evil, I do look at this as a standalone, simply because they focus so much on those couple of core mechanics that if you were to shuffle it in with the main deck of another game or a combination of expansions, that's going to get watered down and really lose its flavor and its freshness and its value to the game. So I'm recommending this one to DC Deck Builder fans. I think it's a great addition to the game, but I do recommend it solely as a standalone. So hopefully that's something you might enjoy. The Arrow crossover pack was interesting. I didn't hate playing it. The main mechanic in this version was taking cards from the main deck and putting them under your hero card to be used later, depending on your hero's ability or abilities on cards you bought later. The downside to this was that there are only 14 cards that actually go in the main deck from the Arrow pack. So if you have an ability to put cards under your deck, but those Arrow cards aren't coming up, you're not really going to be able to get anything going, and you put 14 cards into one of those big main decks, or like I said, a combination of expansions, and those are literally going to get lost in the shuffle, and like I said, you're going to be sitting around waiting a long time to be able to do with that anything with that ability. So I don't love this one. I don't think it's necessary to the DC Deck Builder, even if you're a completionist. It feels separate because it's live action shots, which are distracting, doesn't really take anything away from the game, but it feels different. And I don't watch Arrow, so I learned a lot of new things, like apparently Bronze Tiger's a villain now. Now, back in my day, Bronze Tiger was a hero. But hey, times change, gotta roll with the punches. Or in this case, the boxing glove arrows. Am I right? Another game I had the opportunity to demo was a recent release from Minion Games, and that's Battle Merchants. Battle Merchants is a fantasy economic game where you take on the role of one of these 4 weaponsmiths, and you're crafting weapons to sell to various warring fantasy races, elves, orcs, goblins, etc. And it's a really cool take on the fantasy genre where you're not up front fighting the battles, because we've all done that 1,000 times. You're kind of behind the scenes, you make your weapons, you sell them, and then you sit back and you see how they do. You watch the battles play out, and if you're selling to the winning side, you're going to get more points than if you sell to the losers. As you play the game, there's mechanics in there where you build relationships with the different races, so the more you sell to them, the more money they get, they're more interested in your product. But at the same time, if you're only good at selling swords, they want more than swords. You can't just sell swords over and over again. So you have to diversify your product line and make yourself a good weapon dealer in every kind of weapon in the game. So it's just a lot of fun, a really nice looking game, very vibrant fantasy art. And like I said, just a great take twist on the genre that we don't see too often. I'm really excited to get this one played, and I'll have a review out to you soon, and that's Battle Merchants by Minion Games. A really exciting game I got to demo was Heavy Steam from Greenbrier Games. This is one they just released off a Kickstarter, and I'm pretty sure Origins was the first place it was available to the public. This is a game that takes place in an alternate reality where European powers are fighting their wars with giant steam-powered mechs. And just with that description, you have everything you need to know. It's a really cool game, very thematic. It immerses you in that. As you're playing, you really feel like you're in the cockpit of this clunky giant robot you're trying to control. You know, everything's powered through steam, so you're taking your steam, which is represented by these little cubes, and you're moving it through different parts of the robot, to the legs to move it, to the weapons to fire, to the head to get your control guys everything they need. So it's just one of those resource management games where you don't have enough, and you know your parts start breaking down, and you know you're getting hit and stuff's breaking. So it just really sucks you into that world. Really cool looking game. A lot of great minis, interchangeable parts. So as you upgrade weapons through cards, you can physically upgrade the mini. It's really cool. A lot of fun in there. I love the game. I had a lot of fun with it. My only hesitancy was when they told me the price. There's a little bit of sticker shock. Retail on this is high. It's a stereotypical Kickstarter, packed with lots of cool looking stuff, and you know it's not just style over substance. It's a great game, but there's a ton of stuff packed in there, and you pay for it. So I was, like I said, hesitant to pick it up. It's a great game. I don't have anything bad to say about the game, but I just don't know if there's enough game there for the price. Even with everything you get in there, there's only 4 playable mechs to begin with. So I held off personally. I'm going to wait until maybe I can find a deal on this somewhere. If it sounds interesting to you, and I don't see why it wouldn't, take a look at it. If you like these kind of games, see if maybe it's worth the price to you. It's definitely worth picking up. I recommend it if that price isn't a factor for you, but it's a very fun game. That's Heavy Steam from Greenbrier Games. If you're looking for a more economical alternative to robot combat, check out a game that came out last year that I played for the first time at Origins. That's Volt, Robot Battle Arena from Nazca Games. This is a real small, simple, but really fun robot battle game. Play on a small square board at your arena. Kind of has a feel of that old show BattleBots, where you're just each controlling a mini. You're going in, you're trying to take out the other guy, jockeying for position, and trying to score victory points. It is a programming game. You program your robots, but I think it solves a lot of potential problems of programming games. A lot of those games, you build your program, you do this and set that and do this and that and that, and then you come up with this big elaborate scheme in your program, and then things start and somebody bumps you and the whole thing falls apart and your game's ruined. In this one, you make your few decisions. They're strategic and they're key and they're important, but if something goes wrong, you eventually get taken out real quick, you respawn, and you start again. You get another chance at it. So it's a real quick, rapid-fire game, and it's just real fun robot combat. That is Volt, Robot Battle Arena. If you get a chance, I think you should check it out. The reason I happened to stumble upon Volt was because I was in the booth to demo a game by the same designer, Emerson Matsuuchi. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, but the game is a little one you may have heard of by now. That's Specter Ops. I got my first exposure to that at Origins. It's a really fun game. It's hidden movement. I've played a lot of hidden movement games. I enjoy the genre, but sometimes those games can have some weaknesses to them. From what I've seen of Specter Ops, I feel like it really takes the genre and those mechanics and elevates them, takes them to the next level. There's a lot of innovation in this game. One of the things I really enjoyed was the layout of the board and the way it's set up. There's a lot of obstacles and hiding places and nooks and crannies that balance the game out, that make it, let the spy the person hiding do what they're supposed to do, and give the hunters a decent chance to find them. As I was playing the game, I'm saying, wow, if this obstacle wasn't there, or if it was a different place, it would totally throw the game off and make it too easy one way or the other. But the way it's set up, the game really balances out, and I really appreciate that. The characters are cool, both the spies and the hunter. You get options of who you're going to play. They all have variable powers, really cool minis that you get to play. And what I'm most excited about is that with a 5-player game, there's actually a trader element to it. And the really cool thing is that the spy gets to pick the traitor. They get to pick their hidden teammate. So I think it's a really cool twist on both hidden movement and traitor games. So I can't wait to check this out. I didn't get a copy. My friend did. We will be playing it soon. And as soon as I do, I will have a review out for you. That is Specter Ops. On the Kickstarter front, I came across a game from Chara Games called Commission. This is a game where you play an apostle of the early church in the 1st century, and your job is to travel throughout the Roman Empire, build churches, grow converts, and ultimately collect all the books of the New Testament. Looks like an interesting historical game. I think you can enjoy it regardless of your religious background or affiliation or lack thereof. Just seems like it really focuses and emphasizes the historical aspect of it. And it's a very interesting time period. A lot of interesting things happened back then. And I've seen this theme done poorly, and I've seen it fall on its face. But this one actually looks like it has some potential. It looks like it could do well. It looks like it's really well done. And like I said, it really hits the historical aspects of what went on back then very well. So I'm looking forward to this. It's on Kickstarter now. It's already funded, but I think it'll be up through June. So if you're interested, check it out. You can still back it and get all your bonuses there. So that is Commission from Chara Games. For the most part, I've been talking about bigger, more involved games. So you may be thinking, what about card games, lighter games? Where are the micro games? So in response to that, I picked up this little number, Costume Party from Naturalist Games. Fun little light card game. You're all competing at a costume party to have the most unique costume. You trade your cards around, which are your costumes. From your hand, you pick which one you're going to wear. Everybody reveals. If you have a costume nobody else wore, you get points. If you're matching somebody else, you don't. There's two halves of a horse costume. If you coordinate and wear it together, you get bonus points. But if you only wear half of it, you end up looking like a horse's you know what, and you lose points. So it's a fun little game, a lot of strategy packed in there. You got each card and each costume has its own abilities, so you got to figure out how you want to play and what you want to do. And because of the horse costume, there's a lot of table talk, a lot of negotiating, a lot of bluffing. I actually played this as soon as I bought it. After I picked it up at the Naturalist booth, I walked over to a tournament I was in. We sat down. That awkward moment where you're with a bunch of people you don't know. Somebody asks, hey, who has a game? I pulled this out. We opened it up. I read the rules about 30 seconds, ready to go. And the game did its job. Got us all talking, laughing, warmed us all up. We became really good friends. And we had a great time with it. So it's a game I'm excited to play with my family. Little one I'm going to keep in my back pocket. Anytime I'm with a group and we got 5-10 minutes to kill, I'll pull that out, we'll play it. I'm excited to carry it around with me at Halloween time, go to a costume party, get together before everybody shows up or after everybody leaves, plays 3 to 7 if you got a small group. Really nice thematic game for that situation. So another game I recommend. I got it for a couple bucks off retail. I think retail's $10, so very small investment for a pretty fun game. That's Costume Party from Naturalist Games. One of my favorite stops every year at Origins is the Yellow booth, and this year I stopped by to try Steam Torpedo, their new submarine game. This is a game where you lay tiles to build your submarine. Each tile represents a different room with different properties. They may control engines or shields or weapons or different abilities your submarine has. So it's real intense. You're down there, you have your crew, you're running around trying to man everything, get everything activated. You got to maintain your oxygen. You're always running out because, you know, your crew has to breathe. So it's a lot of fun. Looks really good. It's got a real cat and mouse feel to it, like Hunt for Red October, where you're trying to outmaneuver the other submarine, get in position to take the best shot at them while staying out of range of their attacks. So that's pretty cool. I can't completely recommend this game yet because my demo was kind of cut short. There's a little confusion, but it has a ton of potential. I'm going to try and play this soon, get a review out for you, and let you know what I think. But I think it's definitely worth looking into. That is Steam Torpedo by Yellow. The Yellow Submarine. If you watch my Origins preview video, you know the #1 game on my most anticipated list for Origins was Bottom of the Ninth by Dice Hate Me. I got to play a pretty full-length demo of the game, and I have to tell you, it did not disappoint. This game was great. It was tense. It was dramatic. You play the bottom of the ninth, tie game. Pitcher has to get 3 outs before the batter gets 1 run. And you play pitch by pitch, and everyone is just, you feel the tension. You feel how important every pitch is. It really puts you in that moment. If you're a baseball fan, you're going to love that feeling. If you're not a baseball fan, still a really fun game. 2 players. Really cool. The mechanics are awesome. It's not a perfect sim. It's not a baseball sim. You don't get every option. You can't do everything that would really happen in a baseball game. But the mechanics as they are make sense. Why the pitcher does what he does, why the batter does what he was, how the base runners affect the pitcher. Everything is just really solid. Even the base running mechanics. When they told it to me, I was like, what you do is once the batter makes contact, the pitcher and batter, both players, just start rolling the die. And the first one to roll 5 or 6 is either safe if it's the batter or out if it's the pitcher. And I thought that sounded lame, but when you're doing it, it's just so exciting. You just get the image in your head of your runner just chucking down to first base trying to beat that throw. So everything about it just really has that real intense tie game baseball feel. I love low-scoring baseball games. At the end of the game, going to see who's that score, and this game just does that so perfect. I'm so excited to play this. Every time you get a batter out or every time you get a guy on base, you just feel like you earned it. You're like, yes, I did that. And it's just so much fun. One little nitpicky thing about the game, I'm not a huge fan of when designers are really obvious about putting themselves or their friends or other designers into a game. I don't know. It's just if you put that work in the game, I guess if you don't do it, that's fine. It doesn't really take anything away from it. All the characters are based on game designers and people in the company. So, like I said, it's not detrimental to the game, but they could have done more with that thematically. But it's okay. The game's so great. I'm not gonna ding them points for that. I talked to the guys at Dice Hate Me. It sounds like it's going to be heavily supported. Lots of expansions. There's probably a couple that come out right when the game releases in October. That's so far away. But I'm really excited about this. I'm predicting right now that this will be one of, if not the best two-player game to come out in 2015. I'm going on the books now. That's how good I think this game is. Just mind blowing. Just a great. Very rarely do you find a game with a theme that it just sucks you right into that theme and just makes you feel like you're actually doing what you're doing while you're sitting at a table. And this game does it. October 9th, or October when this comes out, get in line now because you're going to want to have this game. It's fantastic. Bottom of the 9th. Dice Hate Me Games. Okay, guys, that's my Origins wrap-up for 2015. I had a great time in Columbus. I do every year. It's an awesome way to start the summer gaming season. You got all these new games to play. You got that reinvigorated game energy to go pull something down off the shelf. Maybe you haven't tried in a while and give it another shot. Either way, it should be a great summer of gaming. I'm looking forward to it. I hope this video was useful to you. I hope it gave you some ideas for maybe some games to check out as the summer and the year progresses. If you went to Origins, what do you think? Are these games you were interested in? What else caught your eye? If you didn't go, what's the buzz? What are you hearing about? What games are you looking forward to coming out of the show? Tell me all about it in the comments section below. As always, as these games release, be sure to look for them on alteregogames.net. Their goal is to give you the best deal on the internet. That's right, the entire internet. These guys are not messing around. Please remember, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you want to email me, get me a time at rollandmovereviews@gmail.com. I'll be back soon with another review. Until then, have fun out there.